The story opens in the Galactic Council chambers on the planet Vega Prime. Admiral Crows of the Reptilian Alliance stands before a gathering of alien representatives from 12 different species. The topic of discussion is humanity's recent expansion into the Outer Rim territories. The humans are nothing more than primitive mammals, Crows declares, his scaled hands gesturing dismissively. Their technology is centuries behind ours. They pose no real threat to our expansion plans. The other alien leaders nod in agreement. Commander Vex from the insectoid hive mentions reports of a massive human warship called the Titan, but dismisses it as propaganda. Our intelligence suggests this ship is merely a myth created to intimidate us. No single vessel could threaten our combined fleets. Meanwhile, on Earth, Captain Jake Miller receives his orders aboard the Orbital Defense Station. The human military has been monitoring alien communications and knows about the planned invasion of human colonies. The Earth Defense Council has decided to reveal their secret weapon, a warship that has been under construction for 20 years in the asteroid belt Maros. The chief scientist behind the project explains to Miller that the Titan is unlike anything ever built. We've incorporated technology salvaged from crashed alien ships, combined with human engineering principles that focus on efficiency and raw power rather than elegance. The ship itself is a marvel of human ingenuity. Built inside a hollowed-out asteroid, it measures 3 kilometers in length. Its hull is composed of layered titanium steel alloy infused with alien metamaterials. The weapon systems include plasma cannons, kinetic bombardment systems, and something called the Hammer, a weapon so classified that only 5 people in the galaxy know how it works. As Miller tours the ship, he meets his crew of 300 volunteers. These aren't just soldiers. They're engineers, miners, factory workers, and farmers who've trained for this moment. First Officer Tom Black, a former asteroid miner, knows every bolt and panel of the ship. Chief Engineer Lisa White has worked on the propulsion system for 15 years. The alien fleets begin their advance toward human space. 3 separate armadas, each containing over 200 ships, move in perfect formation. The Reptilian Alliance leads with their massive dreadnoughts, followed by the insectoid hive's swarm ships. And the crystalline beings called the Shapers bring up the rear with their energy-based vessels. Human colonies receive evacuation orders, but many refuse to leave. On the mining world of New Austin, colony leader Mark Brown organizes the defense of their settlement. We've built something here, he tells his people. If the government has a plan, we trust them. If not, we'll make our stand. The alien fleets converge on the human outer rim, expecting easy victories. They've studied human military tactics and found them predictable. Humans rely on numbers and determination rather than superior technology. What they don't know is that the Titan has been tracking their movements for weeks. Captain Miller receives the final transmission from Earth Command. You are authorized to engage. Remember, you're not just fighting for Earth. You're fighting for the idea that humanity deserves its place among the stars. As the alien fleets prepare for their assault on the first human colony, deep space sensors detect an anomaly. A massive object is approaching from the direction of Sol system, but it doesn't match any known human ship design. Admiral Crows dismisses the reports. Probably an asteroid or debris. Focus on the colony targets. But Commander Vex's scout ships get a closer look and transmit back impossible readings. The object is artificial, heavily armed, and moving at speeds that should tear apart any known hull material. More disturbing, it's heading directly for their position. The Titan emerges from the shadow of a gas giant, its weapon systems charging. Captain Miller stands on the bridge, looking at the tactical display showing 3 alien fleets spread across the system. His crew is ready. The ship's II, nicknamed Home by the crew, begins target acquisition. "Sir," reports First Officer Black, "we have over 600 enemy contacts. They're moving to surround the colony." Miller nods grimly. The aliens still think this is about one human settlement. They don't understand that this is humanity's line in the sand. "All stations battle. Ready. Today we show them what happens when you threaten human families." The part ends with both sides preparing for contact, neither fully understanding what the other is capable of. Asterisk, the alien commanders stare at their screens in disbelief. The massive human ship doesn't match any intelligence reports they've received. Admiral Crows immediately opens communication channels to the other fleet commanders. "What are we looking at?" demands Commander Vex, his compound eyes analyzing the tactical data. "This ship is 3 times larger than our biggest dreadnought." The crystalline commander of the Shapers, who communicates through harmonic frequencies, sends a worried message. "Energy readings are off our scales. This vessel contains power sources we don't recognize." On the Titan's bridge, Captain Miller watches the alien formations. The 3 fleets are spreading out, trying to surround his ship. It's exactly what the tactical simulations predicted they would do. "Tom, give me ship status." First Officer Black checks his displays. "All systems green, Captain. Weapons charged, shields at maximum, and Home is tracking all targets. The crew is ready." Dr. Ross's voice comes through the intercom from the engineering section. "Jake, the aliens are scanning us. They're trying to understand our technology. Should we jam their sensors?" "Negative. Let them look. They won't understand what they're seeing anyway." The human approach to warfare is fundamentally different from the alien philosophy. Where the aliens build elegant ships with advanced technology, humans build practical vessels designed to absorb damage and keep fighting. The Titan's hull can withstand impacts that would shatter alien vessels, and its redundant systems mean that losing half the ship still leaves it combat effective. Admiral Crows decides to test the human ship's capabilities. He orders a probe attack, 50 small fighters armed with plasma weapons. "If it's just one ship, we can overwhelm it with numbers." The fighters streak toward the Titan, their energy weapons charging. Captain Miller doesn't even flinch. "Lisa, deploy the point defense grid." Chief Engineer White's voice crackles through the comm. "Point defense active. Home has targeting solutions on all incoming craft." What happens next shocks the alien commanders. Instead of the expected energy shields or defensive measures, thousands of small projectile weapons emerge from the Titan's hull. These aren't advanced beam weapons. They're simply chunks of metal accelerated to incredible speeds by magnetic coils. The alien fighters, designed for energy-based combat, have no defense against kinetic weapons. Their shields, calibrated to deflect plasma and lasers, are useless against solid projectiles. In 30 seconds, all 50 fighters are destroyed. "Impossible," breathes Commander Vex. "They destroyed our entire squadron with primitive ballistic weapons, but Admiral Crows isn't deterred. It's still just one ship against 600. All fleets, advance and engage. Focus fire on their engine section." The 3 alien armadas move forward in a coordinated attack. Hundreds of energy beams lance out toward the Titan, lighting up space with deadly colors. The aliens expect to see the human ship's destruction. Instead, they watch their weapons splash harmlessly against the Titan's hull. The ship's armor, designed by humans who understand that space combat is brutal and unforgiving, absorbs the energy attacks with minimal damage. "Their hull is reflecting our weapons," reports a Shaper commander. "What kind of material is that?" Dr. Ross explains to Captain Miller what the aliens are experiencing. They've never fought opponents who use passive defense. All their weapons are designed to overcome energy shields, not physical armor. Now it's humanity's turn to attack. Captain Miller gives the order that will change galactic history. All weapons, fire at will. The Titan's weapon systems come alive. Plasma cannons, salvaged from alien wrecks and improved with human engineering, tear through enemy formations. Kinetic bombardment systems launch projectiles at relativistic speeds, turning alien dreadnoughts into debris clouds. But the most devastating weapon is the one the aliens never see coming. The Titan launches what appear to be simple missiles, crude by alien standards. These weapons don't have sophisticated guidance systems or exotic warheads. They're just fusion bombs with basic targeting computers. The aliens' point defense systems, designed to stop energy-based attacks, ignore the slow-moving missiles. When the warheads detonate among their formations, the nuclear explosions vaporize dozens of ships at once. They're using fusion weapons in space combat, Admiral Crowe says. In horror. What kind of barbaric species are we fighting? The alien commanders realize they've made a terrible mistake. This isn't a primitive species with inferior technology. It's a species that approaches warfare in ways they've never considered. Where aliens build sophisticated weapons, humans build effective ones. Where aliens rely on advanced shields, humans use thick armor. Where aliens use elegant tactics, humans use brutal efficiency. The first phase of the battle ends with over 100 alien ships destroyed and the Titan barely scratched. The three fleet commanders face a terrible reality. They're not fighting the humans they expected. Asterisk. The alien fleet commanders hold an emergency conference as their remaining ships try to regroup. Over 100 vessels have been destroyed in the first engagement, while the human warship shows minimal damage. Admiral Crowe struggles to maintain his composure. How is this possible? Commander Vex's voice carries a note of panic. Our intelligence said humans were barely capable of interstellar flight. The crystalline Shaper commander's harmonic response translates to deep concern. We underestimated their technological development. But more troubling, we misunderstood their approach to warfare entirely. On the Titan, Captain Miller surveys the tactical situation. His ship has performed exactly as designed, but he knows the real test is coming. Tom, damage report. Hull integrity at 98%. Some scoring on the outer armor plates, but nothing that affects combat capability. All weapon systems operational. Dr. Ross contacts the bridge from engineering. Jake, I'm reading massive energy buildups from the alien fleets. They're preparing something big. Miller nods grimly. The tactical computers had predicted this moment when the aliens realized conventional weapons wouldn't work. They'd resort to their most powerful armaments. All hands, prepare for heavy fire. Lisa, bring the backup power cores online. The alien commanders have reached a desperate decision. Admiral Crowe issues orders to deploy planet-killer weapons, massive energy cannons, normally used to crack open worlds for mining operations. If conventional weapons won't penetrate their armor, we'll use everything we have. Are you certain? Asks Commander Vex. Those weapons will drain our ship's power reserves completely. If this attack fails, then we're already dead, Crowe replies. That human ship isn't just defending, it's hunting us. The truth of his words becomes apparent as the Titan begins moving through the alien formations. Captain Miller has decided to take the offensive. Home, plot intercept courses for the largest enemy vessels. We're going to show them what close combat looks like. The alien commanders watch in horror as the massive human warship accelerates directly toward their heaviest dreadnoughts. In their experience, large vessels engage at maximum range, using standoff weapons to avoid damage. The idea of a capital ship deliberately closing to point-blank range is insane. They're going to ram us, reports a reptilian captain as the Titan approaches his vessel. But the Titan doesn't ram the alien ship. Instead, it passes within a few hundred meters and unleashes its close-range weapons. The alien dreadnought, designed for long-range combat, has minimal armor on its flanks. The human ship's guns tear it apart from the inside out. Chief Engineer. White reports from the Weapon Control Center. Kinetic systems are performing perfectly. The alien's armor is optimized for energy absorption, not physical impact. We're punching right through them. The planet-killer weapons finally fire. Beams of pure energy, each capable of boiling away a planet's atmosphere, converge on the Titan. The alien commanders expect to see the human ship vaporized. Instead, they witness something that will haunt their nightmares forever. The Titans. Hull glows white-hot under the assault, but holds. The ship's armor, layer upon layer of materials designed to withstand the most extreme conditions, absorbs energy that should have destroyed it instantly. But more terrifying than the ship's survival is what happens next. The Titan returns fire with the hammer. Dr. Ross had described this weapon to Captain Miller months ago. We took the concept of kinetic bombardment and scaled it up beyond all reason. It's a solid tungsten rod, 10 meters long and 1 meter wide, accelerated to 30% of light. Speed. When the hammer fires, it doesn't create an explosion. It creates a line of destruction that passes through multiple enemy ships before its energy is finally dissipated. 6 alien vessels simply cease to exist, their matter converted to plasma by the impact. What have we done? Whispers Commander Vex, as he watches ship after ship disappear from his tactical display. The psychological effect on the alien fleets is devastating. These species have fought wars for thousands of years, but always according to established rules of engagement. Ships maintain proper distances, weapons follow predicted patterns, and casualties are calculated and acceptable. Humans fight like they're trying to survive extinction. Every weapon system is designed for maximum lethality. Every tactical decision prioritizes killing the enemy over elegant maneuvering. It's warfare stripped of all pretense and reduced to its most basic element, destroying the other side before they destroy you. Admiral Crows realizes the truth that his intelligence officers missed. They're not just another spacefaring species. They're a species that learned warfare on a death world, where survival meant being more vicious than everything trying to kill them. The alien fleets begin to break formation as panic spreads through their ranks. This isn't the easy conquest they expected. It's become a fight for survival against an opponent they never understood. Panic spreads through the alien fleets like wildfire. Ships begin breaking formation without orders, their crews terrified by the human warship that seems unstoppable. Admiral Crows watches his carefully planned invasion turn into chaos as the Titan continues its methodical destruction of his forces. All ships maintain formation. He broadcasts, but his voice betrays his own fear. We still outnumber them 5-1. But numbers mean nothing when facing an opponent that fights by completely different rules. Commander Vex reports massive casualties among his insectoid swarm ships. They're targeting our coordination nodes. Somehow they know exactly which ships control our fleet communications. The human tactical approach becomes clear to the surviving alien commanders. While they focus on destroying enemies through overwhelming firepower, humans identify critical weaknesses and exploit them ruthlessly. The Titan's targeting computer, guided by the AI called Home, has analyzed alien fleet structures and identified command ships, supply vessels, and communication relays. On the Titan's bridge, Captain Miller coordinates the systematic dismantling of the enemy forces. Tom, what's our ammunition status? Kinetic rounds at 60%, plasma charges at 70%. The hammer has 3 shots remaining. First Officer Black pauses, checking another display. Captain, I'm reading some interesting energy signatures from the alien ships. Dr. Ross's voice crackles through the intercom. Jake, several enemy vessels are powering down their weapons. I think some of them are trying to surrender. This presents a problem humans haven't faced before. In all their simulations and planning, the possibility of alien surrender hadn't been seriously considered. The galactic species have a reputation for fighting to the death rather than accepting defeat. Admiral Crows faces a choice that will define his species' future relationship with humanity. His remaining ships are being picked apart by an opponent he can't match. The logical decision is retreat, but admitting defeat to a primitive species will have consequences throughout the galaxy. The crystalline Shaper commander makes the decision for him. Her harmonic transmission reaches all ships. This engagement is terminated. All vessels withdraw to safe distance and await further orders. You can't retreat, Crows snarls. We have our orders from the Galactic Council. The Galactic Council didn't anticipate this, the Shaper responds. We are facing a species that has weaponized concepts we never considered. Continued engagement will result in total fleet destruction. But Captain Miller has no intention of letting the alien fleets escape to regroup and return with reinforcements. The tactical situation is clear. This is humanity's one chance to demonstrate that Earth and its colonies are not easy targets. All remaining enemy vessels. This is Captain Miller of the Earth Defense Force. You have 30 seconds to power down completely and prepare to be boarded. Any ship that attempts to flee will be destroyed. The alien commanders are stunned by this demand. In their culture, boarding actions are reserved for pirates and criminals. The idea that a military vessel would demand surrender and boarding rights is unprecedented. Commander, Vex's compound eyes reflect the lights of his damaged bridge. They want to board our ships? What kind of barbaric customs do these humans follow? Admiral Crows makes his final mistake. Rather than accepting the human ultimatum, he orders his remaining dreadnoughts to execute a fighting withdrawal. All ships, cover the retreat. We'll return with reinforcements. The Titan's response is swift and merciless. The hammer fires its remaining 3 shots in rapid succession. The massive kinetic projectiles tear through the alien formations, each impact destroying multiple ships. The alien retreat becomes a rout as surviving vessels scatter in all directions. Engineer White reports from the Weapon Control Center. Direct hits on their command vessels. Enemy fleet cohesion is breaking down completely. But the most significant moment comes when the Titan intercepts Admiral Crow's flagship. Instead of destroying it immediately, Captain Miller orders a demonstration that will be transmitted throughout the galaxy. Deploy the boarding pods, he commands. The alien crew watches in terror as human boarding craft attach to their hull. These aren't the sleek, elegant shuttles they expected from a spacefaring species. They're brutal, utilitarian machines designed for one purpose: getting human soldiers onto enemy ships. The human boarding party, led by Marine Sergeant Dave Stone, cuts through the alien ship's hull with industrial equipment adapted for combat use. When they breach the bridge, the alien crew sees something that will reshape their understanding of humanity. The humans aren't the primitive mammals described in intelligence reports. They're apex predators who have turned their survival instincts into military doctrine. Every piece of equipment, every tactical decision, every aspect of their warfare is designed around one principle: winning at any cost. Admiral Crows, faced with human soldiers who treat space combat like a mining operation, finally understands the magnitude of his species' mistake. They didn't just underestimate human technology, they fundamentally misunderstood what humanity represents in the galaxy. The aftermath of the battle spreads across the galaxy faster than the surviving alien ships. Admiral Crows, now a prisoner, aboard the Titan, watches through the viewport as human boarding parties systematically capture or destroy the remainder of his once mighty fleet. The invasion force that was supposed to demonstrate alien superiority has become a lesson in human military doctrine. Captain Miller stands in the observation deck, looking out at the debris field that was once 3 alien armadas. First Officer Black joins him with the final casualty reports. 637 enemy vessels destroyed or captured, Black reports. We've taken approximately 2,000 prisoners. Our casualties are 0 dead, 12 injured. During boarding operations, the numbers tell a story that will reshape galactic politics. A single human warship has defeated a combined alien force that represented the military might of 3 major species. But the true impact isn't military, it's psychological. On the bridge, Dr. Ross coordinates with the captured alien technical specialists. The humans are doing something unprecedented in galactic history. They're studying their enemy's technology, not to copy it, but to understand how to defeat it more efficiently. Their energy weapons are incredibly sophisticated, she explains to Captain Miller, but they're optimized for fighting other energy-based systems. Against our kinetic weapons and physical armor, they're almost useless. The real revelation: Comey's from interrogating the alien prisoners. Sergeant Stone's Marines have learned that the 3 species involved in the invasion represent only a fraction of the Galactic Council's military power. Dozens of other species exist, each with their own fleets and weapons technologies. Captain, Commander Black reports, the prisoners are claiming this was just a reconnaissance in force. The main galactic fleet contains thousands of ships. Miller nods grimly. The tactical situation is clear. Humanity has won this battle, but the war is just beginning. However, they've gained something more valuable than victory: respect through fear. The captured Admiral Crows requests a meeting with Miller. The 2 commanders face each other in the Titan's conference room, separated by the vast gulf of different evolutionary paths. Your species fights like savage animals, Crow states, but there's no longer contempt in his voice, only wariness. We fight like survivors, Miller corrects. Earth is a death world by your standards. Everything that lives there has to be tough enough to earn its place. We didn't evolve to be elegant or sophisticated. We evolved to be effective. The alien Admiral struggles to understand this concept. His species developed on a world with minimal predators and abundant resources. Competition was about efficiency and elegance, not raw survival. The idea of a planet where life itself is combat is alien to his thinking. The Galactic Council will not accept this defeat, Crows warns. They will send fleets you cannot imagine. Miller's response is calmly confident. Then they'll learn the same lesson you did. We're not going anywhere, and we're not backing down. The conversation is being recorded and will be transmitted to the Galactic Council, along with tactical data from the battle. The human message is simple. Earth and its colonies are under human protection, and any attempt at conquest will be met with overwhelming force. Back on Earth, the Defense Council receives Miller's reports with mixed emotions. They've achieved their primary objective, demonstrating that humanity can defend itself. But they've also announced their presence to a galaxy full of potential enemies. General Robert Clark, the overall commander of Earth's military forces, addresses the assembled leadership. We've bought ourselves time and respect, but this is just the beginning. The aliens will adapt to our tactics, and they'll return with countermeasures. Dr. Ross, participating via quantum communication from the Titan, agrees. We need to assume they'll develop kinetic-resistant armor and weapons designed to counter our advantages. But we also have their technology now, and we can adapt it to our needs. The human approach to technological development becomes clear. Where aliens refine and perfect existing concepts, humans hybridize and adapt everything they encounter. The captured alien vessels will be studied, dismantled, and their best features incorporated into human designs. But the most important outcome isn't technological, it's strategic. The galaxy now knows that humanity exists, and that they're not easy prey. Other species will approach future contact with caution rather than contempt, as the Titan begins its journey back to human space, escorting captured alien vessels and carrying proof of humanity's military capabilities. Captain Miller reflects on what they've accomplished. They've announced humanity's arrival on the galactic stage in terms that every species will understand. Strength. The myth of the unstoppable human warship has become reality, and the galaxy will never underestimate humanity again. The age of human expansion into the stars has begun, backed by the knowledge that Earth's children are willing and able to fight for their place among the stars. The legend of the Titan spreads across the galaxy, carrying a simple message: humanity has arrived, and they're here to stay. Asterisk.